What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Queen of the Ring podcast. I've got a very special guest on today. You might know him from some of his work from Bleacher Report and also Fightful on Grapsody every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Am I correct on that, Phil?
You are. Well,
11 a.m. Central in Chicago time. It's Phil Lindsey, everybody. How are you? How are you?
I am good. I still kind of like not fully awake because I stayed up to watch the New Japan show, but it is what it is. Wrestling fans staying up for shows. I'm sure there's a lot of people that are probably trying to either stay up or get up really early tomorrow as well. So
Yeah, Americans here are complaining about it. I feel like why not? It's once a year, right? Sometimes we get to wake up. I gotta wake up at 5 a.m. What time you gotta wake up? 4 a.m.
yeah, I think it's 4
Yeah,
for Elimination Chamber. Yeah, I think it's 4.
yeah. And then most of all of the Japanese shows are at 3 a.m. It's not too bad. Unless you have a whole bunch of wrestling shows to catch up on, like us.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts from the New Japan show, the beginnings of Sapiro? I saw some title changes. What stood out to you?
Um, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was not really booked for me. The show and Desperado match, I was not really a fan of it. Wasn't a fan of the finish. Uh, the House of Torture stuff just continues to be just not for me, man. It's just not for me, man. It's kind of the same with the Shota match with Evil. I think Shota gave a really good performance, but it was just the usual House of Torture shenanigans. Evil winning the way he usually does. Not really for me. Um, I thought Hiroshi Tanahashi and Matt Riddle had a pretty good match, all things considered. Um, Not that interested in Matt Riddle as television champion, but I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, I'm not that interested in seeing him as champion either. It's a choice, it's a decision that someone made. But I see a lot of people being very disappointed on Twitter about it. I mean, it's something different. Hiroshi Tanahashi is president. He's got other things to worry about, I guess.
Yeah, I guess my thing with it is if they were just gonna do that, why did why did he beat Zack Saber in the first place? Like, I
hmm
don't really understand, but uh, I guess the Nick Nemeth match with Finlay was strong. I thought it's the usual Finlay match as well with him doing the usual heat spots, but uh, I thought Nemeth sold really well for him because it's Nemeth and he's like routinely a great seller. I thought he also showed a lot of fire and stuff in his comebacks. I thought it was a good title win for him. I thought the promo he cut afterwards was really, really good. Guy got in the back and cut the promo of his life.
hmm
I was here for it.
I really liked the promo. He showed a lot of heart in that promo and talking about how he was like in this void pretty much for 20 years and then coming back, and this is his first official match in New Japan. I'm I'm digging the era that Nick Namath is entering for himself in this new career path for him. But what are we thinking about the era of New Japan now with Bushi Road? They uh, are losing Will Ospreay. They're losing Okada. How are you feeling about it? What are your impressions about it?
Yeah, that was kind of the reason why I was confused about the Shota match because if you're losing two of your biggest stars and you've made the point to say that Ren and Shota and Suji are your new Three Musketeers, I thought you'd give Shota the big win here and kind
Mm-hmm.
of start this era off in a big way with him, and they didn't. So I was really confused by that booking decision. Um, and I mean, like the first half of the show was a lot of the multi-man matches. Not really a lot to write home about. I thought it really picked up when we got to the women's match, and then after the women's match, it kind of dropped off a cliff again. But I thought the women's match was also really good.
Yeah, I thought I saw clips of the women's match. I definitely need to go back and watch the entire show, but the IWGP Championship, I feel like it's picking up a little bit more. I thought that the era of it, I mean, it's unfortunate that Stardom had to deal with a lot of injuries last year. Then Rossi leaving, and there might be some other people leaving from Stardom as well.
Yeah.
But Tom Nakano, Mina Shirakawa, and Micah all said that they are gonna stick with Stardom. But potentially Azumi, Utami, Julia, and Shiri are possibly leaving to go help Rossi with their promotion as well. But with Mayu Iwatani as IWGP champion, I think she's a good champion. I think that some people aren't really behind her era as IWGP Women's Championship. What do you think about it?
Um, I don't think they've really fulfilled like the appeal of the belt because she hasn't
Hmm.
really defended it on a lot of New Japan shows. So it's good to see her show up again at a New Japan show this time around. She hasn't really defended it that much at Stardom shows either. And then you established the strong belt, so I didn't really understand. Like you had a belt that was supposed to be the belt for the women to go to New Japan shows and to come to America with, and then you just started doing that with the New Japan Strong Women's belt anyway. So you have Julia doing essentially the same thing. Um, so it kind of defeats the purpose of having that belt. But of course, Mayu is Mayu. She's a legend. I thought she had a great match here. I thought Mina looked really good. Mina has improved drastically. Like I think if you're one of those people that like just give her a chance, like she can eventually be better. Like she has the potential. She's got the look. She's got the charisma, and I think she's come a long way.
I think she has as well. She's gotten the overall package. Last year working with Mariah May did her very, very well.
Hmm.
And I think with Mina, like she's overall improved, and it's exciting to see her as a fan like grow. And since she is going to stay with Stardom, I have high hopes that she's going to excel on her own now that, you know, Mariah's doing her thing in AEW. And this was a great match. This was a great match for Mina. So hopefully more title opportunities for Mina in the future. I'm exciting to see like what they possibly have planned for the Stardom WrestleMania show. It was looking a little worrisome with Rossi leaving, but I mean, who knows? There's, you know, different companies have to make some kind of transition, some kind of new stepping into a new era. And it feels like Bushi Road overall as a whole in a company is possibly going in the right direction. Maybe not with Matt Riddle, but they're possibly going into a good
It's
direction.
it's a little shaky. I think you have some good things like bringing in Nick Nemeth is good, but um, yeah, I just I like to see more of them building like the future stars within the company, like seeing Shota get the trajectory that she should be on. Um, I think Suji's in a good place. I think they have someone in Yuya that has a lot of potential. Very interested to see how the hair versus hair match goes tomorrow.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely looking concerning in some ways. Like even when they announced the tournament for Stardom, the Cinderella tournament, and you look at that lineup, it's like, yeah, there are a lot of women here that are not in this tournament because they're trying to probably cover their ass here, and they don't want to include somebody that may or may not be there within the next month or two.
Yeah, when they announced the lineup, it looked very safe, you know?
Yes.
Like it looked safe. It looked like they're, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's weird because in 1 week Julia is going to reach her free agent phase. Her contract is expired in March. I think there's a few other contracts that are expired in March. And like you were saying before, with the IWGP title, it was cool when they introduced it, and then they got the New Japan Strong title, and it's good exposure for the Stardom roster in this bigger spotlight with New Japan inviting them into these shows like last night's show. But overall, it's a it's an interesting time to have all eyes on the product, and again to see where they go.
Yeah. Yeah, there are good things, but also some worrying things. I just don't know. I don't know what to make of certain things from Japanese wrestling at the moment.
Yeah, it's a little up in the air, but I I feel like right now TJPW is doing fairly well. Like everyone's doing well, but I'm a little bit more invested in TJPW because at least like with TJPW, they have a little bit more of outreach in the Western side, you know, collaborating with Prestige Wrestling. They're about to have their show with GCW at WrestleMania. And now to have Stardom finally be a part of that. Um, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where they go. And New Japan, I feel like I feel like in a way New Japan is just there. I'm not as excited as I was with New Japan a couple years ago. Um, but yesterday it was rumored that AEW Forbidden Door is going to be in Arthur Ashe in New York City, and there are a few people on Twitter that are saying Forbidden Door is not as exciting anymore since New Japan talent overall are randomly booked for Dynamite, Rampage, and Collision. I think I would disagree with that because there's still good potential dream matches that you can have with the New Japan roster and the AEW roster, and then also finally bringing in Stardom girls as well.
Yeah, I'm still excited for Forbidden Door. I can understand people that feel like the appeal is not really there anymore. But I do think that there are matchups that they haven't done yet. Like we haven't had a big Shingo match yet.
Hmm.
I think that that's the match that should happen this year. Um, I think you do have the possibility of certain other things. Like I mean, biggest question mark in this is what is going to happen at Windy City Riot because if Moxley wins the title, what are we going to do going into Forbidden Door? Who is he going to face
Hmm.
for that title? How are they going to treat him as champion? So a lot to think about. And I mean, I can assume there's a good time to bring Mox in because they're looking for a new like big Gaijin star. And he's been solid. He's been great for AEW. He's been the heart and soul of AEW, and he's been great every time he goes over to Japan. So I think it's a really good chance he can win the title.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be a really good display of the title at Forbidden Door as well. I agree. I think that he could be, you know, Mox is he's a great worker. He's great for AEW. He's always great for his appearances for New Japan. And again, there's a lot of potential for the Forbidden Door card. I You know me, I am just like, where are the girls? Like I want Micah to face like Tony Storm if it's like a champion versus champion, not championships on the line, but I would love to see that. Mercedes coming in as well next month. There could be something there, maybe with Mayu Iwatani putting up that IWGP championship at Forbidden Door,
I would like.
possibly.
I hope so. I would really like to see the IWGP Women's Championship defended at Forbidden Door.
Hmm.
But I think, yeah, also Mercedes potentially being on the card, I think that raises the profile because then, you have somebody that has worked Stardom, that has worked New Japan. So, um, interesting chance to get someone from Japan to come over and work her on the card. I think that can be a standout match, but we'll see.
Yeah, I still feel like she has a lot of unfinished business with some of the roster in Stardom. So her having a match at Forbidden Door, very exciting stuff. Um, and also just like have a big old tag team match, maybe. Just
Yeah.
show a whole bunch of the talent from AEW, from Stardom. Why not?
Probably too late to get the Julia match that we all want with Mercedes, but
Maybe, Maybe.
She'll probably be
Hope
gone by then.
Julia would be gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, probably. Maybe. Yeah, she'll be gone by then. Like, possibly signing to AEW or WWE. That's like up in the air. I mean, she's gonna stay loyal to Rossi though. So Rossi's new promotion, she's gonna follow him. So
Yeah.
yeah, possibly.
A lot of things are up in the air between now and June, so a lot could change by now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Anything can happen in wrestling. I mean, just a few months ago, we were thinking some things were happening and other things were happening. Cody was gonna get his title match and then he wasn't, and then all that. I mean, the last time I saw you after Grapsody was after the press conference. What are your thoughts with The Rock coming in, claiming his bloodline position, coming out with the Versace vest? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, they very much overcooked the chicken at one point. They was very much overcomplicating this thing for no reason. But I thought with the kickoff show, at least they pivoted well. And anybody that thinks this is not a pivot, I think you're fooling yourself. This very much looked like a pivot. The fact that Cody has not once mentioned anything from that SmackDown episode since then kind of tells me it's a pivot. Um, and I mean, even like the Rock heel turn that we got and everything on SmackDown after the kickoff show, it all feels like a pivot. I think that they've done a good job of getting me interested in a potential tag match. I think the Rollins and Road and Cody stuff from Raw was really really good. Uh, Rollins cut a really good promo that week. I
Mm-hmm.
thought the Rock stuff SmackDown was very very good. Very rare that SmackDown will get me with the nostalgia pop, but as a big Rock guy, I was sitting there like, nice. He's got the Versace shirt on. We're back. And then he came back out there and he was calling people trailer park trash again. I was like, oh, we're really back. Listen.
Hollywood Rock was back in full swing, full swing. And you know, when everything played out where Cody stepped aside and The Rock came in, it was I was very worried because they built this up like we talked
Yeah.
about it on Grapsody where like they built this up for the entire year and then all of a sudden they dropped the ball and they definitely did pivot and it seems like they're making up for some time with The Rock coming out. Like he was in full swing. And Seth is incredible. And I know that you're a huge Seth fan too. I mean, he's your banner on Twitter. So he's like incredible. He's always just gonna stand out for me. And he's doing the work and he's the one that's really selling me on the potential tag match that we're getting. I'm not for it. I don't want to see it. But I mean, it's WrestleMania 40. It's a missed opportunity to not have The Rock be a part of the show somehow in a match, right?
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried about what does The Rock look like in ring at this point because he's been gone for all this time. He hasn't wrestled since 2016, and that wasn't even really a match. It was just a squash. We haven't seen this guy wrestle in a long time, and so I don't know if Rock versus Roman was really going to deliver as a one-on-one match like we thought it would have. And I think
Mm-hmm.
if you do a tag match, you can kind of disguise a lot of his weaknesses. Now you can do some smoke and mirrors. I think it makes a lot of sense to do a tag match. I think there's storytelling possibilities here with the tag match. Because the big thing I thought coming out of Rock segment, I was like, this guy playing Roman sure seems like it. There are a few things he said in that promo. There are a few things that happened between there that makes me think might be playing this guy, and he might be the guy that asked for the tag match so that Roman is forced to wrestle two nights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, there's a lot to cover up when The Rock comes in. I'm sure he's in the ring training now, but it's like you can cover up some mucky waters with him with a tag match. Um,
Still in his 50s.
mm-hmm,
It's gonna be
mm-hmm.
tough for him to just come back to wrestling after all this time and have like a of the match of that caliber that people want.
Yeah.
But then again, like Rock versus Roman isn't really for like the work rate. It's for the moments. It's for the stare downs and the big moves. It's not here for like nobody's looking for this to be like a 5-star classic or something.
It's definitely not going to be a 5-star classic, but ring rust is a thing.
Yeah.
But he's not rusty on the mic, which is good to know. He never was, right? When he comes in and he does these little quick little spots on SmackDown, when he's, teaming up with Becky, or he's talking smack about Byron Corbin, Jesus Christ. The coffee's not hitting yet, but you get what I mean. The coffee is not hitting yet. Jeez. I've been up since 2 a.m. But The Rock is never rusty on the mic. But in the ring, it's a totally different story. And when he's in the ring, like with top talent, like Roman, like Cody, like Seth, it's gonna be interesting to see. It is a potential match to main event night 1. I don't want to see it just because I think that spot is deserving for the women, whether it be Bayley versus Io or whoever wins the Elimination Chamber tomorrow versus Rhea Ripley, which Rhea Ripley is going to win tomorrow. That's one of my predictions. But yeah, I don't know. They're making up for the disappointment that they delivered after the Royal Rumble for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They got a lot of ground to kind of try and make up quickly because they don't have Punk now. So they're not going to have that match. And then now you're possibly not going to be able to do the Rock Roman match that you initially planned.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the tag match is a good replacement for all of that. And I think at the very least, you can start building to Rock versus Roman out of the tag match if you want. I don't know. Like I said, I think this is a good option going for it. They in the kickoff show and all this stuff in the week following it, they did a good job of selling me on it.
Yeah, they did. And with I don't know, with The Rock coming back again, it's WrestleMania 40. Like, you have to do something huge for him to come back. And I don't know. It's just going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting how they're going to build it up. We're going into the Elimination Chamber tomorrow. So we are going to set our predictions in just a moment. But overall, what are you thinking about the matchups that we're potentially going to get within WrestleMania? Because, earlier this week we had Jay going against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Do you think that they might be pushing that a little bit forward with WrestleMania, or are we finally possibly going to get Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso at WrestleMania?
Oh, I think they've kept Jay and Jimmy apart all this time, and they've stretched this out to do the match at WrestleMania. Just the way that they've been plotting this thing, he's cost them 3 title matches at this point. And they started the Royal Rumble with the 2 of them. I think they're, definitely building this up for it to be Jay versus Jimmy at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I want to see that, because when they had their face down at the Royal Rumble, I mean, we were sitting next to each other at the Royal Rumble. It was a really cool moment that Jay came out in number 1, Jimmy comes out in number 2. They had that little stare down, like the wild eye Samoan faces that they had. It was really cool. I loved it. And that would be a great match. But I want the women to main event. I want them to main event. And even Becky said in an interview yesterday when she was doing media in Australia that she thinks that she should main event. And I just think Bayley is getting crumbs, because I think Bayley's Royal Rumble story as a Royal Rumble winner, her story with Damage Control and Dakota and Io, I'm a little bit more invested in that than whatever's happening with Cody and The Rock. But I want Cody to finish the story.
Yeah,
I'm just more invested in that than a tag match.
Yeah, I do think it's unfortunate that it's looking like at this point the women probably aren't going to get the main event spot. But it kind of felt like that was happening anyway, because it felt like Punk and Rollins was going to main event the night 1. But we'll see. Maybe they won't. Maybe, but I have to assume it's The Rock, and if The Rock is wrestling, he's probably gonna main event. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I think it's good that they do have two really strong women's matches potentially, and you've got other women's matches that you can book for this. Hopefully, the tag titles make the card this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm very much hoping that Bianca gets like her like showcase match. Doesn't need to be a title match at this point because she's already established herself as Mrs. WrestleMania. She has the streak going at WrestleMania, so you don't really need a title. You just give her a good opponent. Just book a good match within the next 43 days or whatever.
Do you see her going against Jade for that? Because a lot of people are predicting that, but that's a toss up because it's either you end this streak that Bianca has at WrestleMania, or you have Jade Cargill win her first appearance at WrestleMania.
I kind of think it's Jade, especially because we're not getting a Charlotte match, and they were very much playing a long game with the Charlotte match. It seemed Bianca kept saying that she wanted the Charlotte match as the last horsewoman she hasn't wrestled. Um, but since she's off the table, I think the Jade match is the big match. You got other stuff you can book. I mean, maybe you give Tiffany that spot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I don't think it would hurt Jade to lose at WrestleMania because I've seen people that keep going, well, oh, the reason she wasn't in Elimination Chamber is because she'd get pinned, or she's not here because she'll get pinned, and I just don't think that's that important. I think at this point, people just want to see her on television, like just trying to make this perfect and trying to make her into this perfect wrestler. That just isn't the appeal of Jade to me, and you're trying to run away from this loss. Everybody's got to lose at some point, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it wouldn't bother me that much if Bianca keeps her streak at WrestleMania and beats Jade, but they also have a big match because that's gonna do more for Jade than just having like some, I don't know, just having some match where everybody knows she's gonna win and it's predictable.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be cool to see Bianca and Jade team up to go against the Kabuki Warriors at WrestleMania. Give the Kabuki Warriors something, give the tag titles a little bit more uh, jazzed up for WrestleMania, because last night they threw on the women's tag team championships last minute for the kickoff show for tomorrow's Elimination Chamber match. I would like to see Bianca and Jade team up uh, as soon as Jade gets onto the her footing on the ground in the ring, especially at WrestleMania, because that'd be a cool moment. That'd be a huge moment for both of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Little bit of PTSD from the last two black women that challenged for the tag belts at WrestleMania, and then we saw that ended. But I think it'd be a good moment for them. I just
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't think that they should overcomplicate this with Jade, and I think that they already kind of have. I think
Hmm.
she should have been in the Elimination Chamber match. Um, but again, people are just like, but she'll have to lose, and it's like she's going to eventually have to lose, guys.
Yeah. She's lost already. We've seen her lose twice in AEW. It's not a big deal that she'll lose again, but I think it's more so the journey of us getting there, and how they set
Yeah,
it up for Jade.
yeah, and I think especially after she has such a good showing in the Royal Rumble, I think it's a big missed opportunity that she hasn't wrestled on TV since then. Like
Hmm.
it's been almost a month and we haven't seen her wrestle on TV. I don't really understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. Just gonna have to see. I mean, it would have been good to see her at the press conference yesterday, but uh Tiffany Stratton looked really good at the press conference. She really fits into the main roster. I thought the press conference overall was good. Like the presser, it feels a little bit more like a prep rally, not
Yeah,
so much of a
it's
press conference.
it's a kickoff show or whatever you want to call it, a rally. It's not really a press conference.
Yeah, it's
There's
like
there's no questions.
no, there's no
No
questions.
questions.
No, not at all. It reminds me of do you remember like WrestleMania 17 when before um they would have some kind of rally like that with like the troops, and they would like give out shirts, and like
Hmm.
Lita was like riding on the military trucks. Like it kind of reminded me of that, you know, like how
Yeah.
they used to do it back in the day. Not so much of a press conference,
Yeah. No. It just feels like a kind of like a, I don't know, not pre-show, but like a kickoff
like
show.
a presentation,
Yeah.
right? Like a presentation. Yeah, yeah. I thought it went well. I did not know that they were trying to ship the Elimination Chamber a month ago, but pirates got in the way. That was wild, and I had to question, like, damn, pirates still exist?
Yes.
I didn't know.
That's like a real thing. Yeah.
I did not know.
Very dangerous thing out on the open sea. Yeah. This is not just like a Kyrie Sane gimmick. No, there are still like actual pirates out there. Like,
See, that's why I will never go on a cruise ever. There's too much undiscovered stuff in the ocean, and now there's pirates I need to worry about. The elimination. What do you think the pirates are doing with the elimination chamber?
I don't know. So I guess like the story behind it is that they had been trying to ship this thing for a month. They didn't actually steal anything. It was just that was the holdup, right?
Hmm.
But that does sound funny. Like the pirates like actually like trying to build their own elimination chamber. Like I
In
don't
my
know what.
fantasy, they stole it. In my fantasy, they took the elimination chamber. They're like, I don't know, doing some training or something on an island somewhere, post up. That's their little home, the elimination chamber. But yeah, they took it from Miami to LA, and then from LA they shipped it to Sydney, and then from Sydney they took a train to uh, Perth. That's just a wild story.
Yeah.
That's a wild. I don't know. In my fantasy, I like to think that they actually took it, and they're just using parts to build a new boat.
Yeah, they've got like the pods on their boat, like they've got like bits of it. Like, yeah, that sounds insane, man.
And maybe they took Cody, and that's why Cody Rhodes is delayed in the air.
Yeah, that was also like the clips of it I've seen because I haven't seen the entire press event,
Hmm.
but the clips I've seen about of Triple H coming out there and leading people and singing Kingdom, I was just like, but he's not Cody. Why is he
No,
there?
and the Australian crowd, they messed it up. I don't know. It just seemed like I watched it last night, and I was like, this Australian crowd does not have any rhythm at all. Like they just can't get their chants together. But they do know how to, I guess, drink a shoey, which is
Yeah,
what Grayson Waller and Rhea Ripley did. But
yeah. I saw that and the one lady in the front row that was very very excited for Randy Orton. I, I was like, oh, all right,
I love that for her. She probably, she waited her whole entire life. You know that she is the mom where all of possibly her kids always tell their friends that my mom is a huge Randy Orton fan. And she finally got that opportunity, and she went buck wild. I love that for her.
yeah. I don't know if you saw that the Seth quote where he's saying that he would like to face Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and I was like, well,
Hmm.
that dooms Randy. That tells me Randy is losing.
I don't know. I There's a lot to go into it. So let's get into our predictions right now. I will say during the press conference, Rhea Ripley was soaking that all in. Like she understood the assignment of being the hometown hero. I really liked the way that I just liked her presence in the during this, press rally conference, so to say. And with Rhea Ripley, it just felt like the stars are connecting now that she's like back home, because she's been voted like top talent, almost number one, like from the Sports Illustrated list, the PWI list last year. And it's been very rewarding as a viewer to see how far she's come with, the Mae Young Classics to NXT, from 2019 NXT Survivor Series weekend with War Games, and then going back to Survivor Series and winning Survivor Series, and then now to see her and the Judgment Day. It's really cool to see her growth. And yesterday, there's just something that clicked of, she's already a megastar, but there's just something that clicked a little more about her presence during during the press conference.
Yeah, I think she's a massive star. I think that is very clear at this point. I think she's made the most out of this title run. I think she made the most out of her Royal Rumble win as well. Um, and I think for me, I have just been waiting for that big standout match as champion.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's on that level of the Charlotte match from WrestleMania. Um, but other than that, like, she's presented as a big deal. She looks the part. Um, Fans clearly are invested. Super popular online. So I had no doubt she was going to go home and get a great response. I'm sure at the actual show she's going to get a even louder response.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm happy for her. I think this is a really cool moment for her, especially considering where she was coming up from NXT and going to WrestleMania and losing. And some people like, oh no, they've ruined her. And like, I that is just like a distant memory at this point. Like, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this time around at WrestleMania, she came off looking a lot better, and she's more popular than she's ever been. So,
Yeah, she is. And, no matter who wins the Elimination Chamber, she's got some really good history with some of these opponents. So, let's get into the Women's Elimination Chamber first. So, Women's Elimination Chamber, the winner goes on to face whoever the winner is for the Women's World Championship. We got Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Raquel Rodriguez, not Gonzalez, as Triple H said yesterday. Yeah,
not in
he.
NXT anymore, buddy.
No,
Not in
no.
NXT anymore.
No, 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 no. We are not in NXT anymore, pal. But Raquel Rodriguez, this lineup looks really good. This is going to be a great match. I really hope to see Naomi going the distance during this match. I think the top winners for me in my eyes is Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, and Becky Lynch. All three of them have deep history with Rhea Ripley. Um, but I think overall it's possibly going to be Bianca Belair or Becky Lynch. But I wouldn't be mad if it was Bianca Belair, because again, you give her something to do at WrestleMania. I think it's a little predictable, but I would like to see a swerve.
I think it's very predictable. I don't think there's any way that Becky's not winning here. I think that they've been building up Becky and Rhea for about not even about a year, over a year at this point.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing the stare downs. They've been doing the promos together. At this point, I don't see any possibility of Becky not winning unless like something happens. Knock on wood, somebody gets injured or something. I think Becky's clearly winning. I think that Liv's gonna have a good showing though, especially after she just came back at Royal Rumble. I don't know if you saw the discourse yesterday. The Liv fans found this TikTok of somebody saying that she's not that good. She's not good in ring. She's not a good promo, and you know what Diva stands will do. You know what women's wrestling stands will do. They ripped this person apart, and I think Liv at one point tweeted something like "cry more" or something, that riled people up even more. Um, and so, yeah, I think Liv's gonna have a good showing. I think, of course, Bianca's gonna have a good showing as someone that's won an Elimination Chamber match before. But this is Becky's match to win. I just don't see nobody else winning.
I agree. I agree with you. Listen, if there's one thing I will never do on Twitter is mess with the diva stands. They
Yeah.
are the scariest people on wrestling Twitter, and that's saying a lot about wrestling Twitter. That whoever made that TikTok, that was a death sentence for them. That
Yeah, no.
was there's like I feel like there's two major stands that you don't mess with in Twitter, and that's Liv Morgan stands and Mercedes Monet stands.
Nah, I don't want no smoke with the crew.
No,
Never.
I've
I don't
never,
want no smoke with the crew. I don't want
never.
no smoke with foxtrotters. I don't want any smoke with no that there any of these sects of like women's wrestling stands. I'm good. I'm good.
No, yeah, I'm good. You guys got that. Don't worry. No, I don't want it. But let's move on to these tag matches though. So it was announced yesterday we're getting the Kabuki Warriors, who are the women's tag team champions, against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, which also, by the way, this is the first major event PLE outside of Evolution that we're getting more women's matches than men's matches. I really love that. You know, I do. But we got this thrown together last night. I'm really happy that Indy Hartwell is at least going to go out and have a match.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think this is a good opportunity for Indy. I'm really happy that Candice made the card as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that we had actually gotten a build for this match. I wish it felt like it mattered, but I think it's a good opportunity for everybody involved. I think it's a good spot for Kyrie and Asuka as well. Never going to complain about seeing the Kabuki Warriors on a card.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's pretty obvious Kabuki Warriors are going to win here. Like,
Yeah. I think, yeah, the overall prediction is not so much a prediction, but it's almost like
yeah.
heartwarming to see that Indy is going to get some shine during this big show
Hmm.
for her, and also Candice as well. Kabuki Warriors are going to win it, but overall, I think through this match, it's it's just exciting to see that they're gonna give a chance. It would have been great to see a build. It would have been great to see
Yeah.
something, even if it was just like played out on social media. You know, I don't
Something.
know. Yeah,
But
something like that. Kabuki Warriors throwing koalas at them. Something, some
yeah.
kind of build.
Yeah, I think the best thing we've gotten out of all of this is Asuka with wildlife this week, Asuka with koalas last night, and the
Mm,
picture she has with the snake, where she has this big like grin,
yeah.
really really funny. Also, Asuka put that clip up on her YouTube channel of her going to meet a fan at that bar. If you haven't seen it, it is really
Yeah.
good. She surprised a fan in Japan that has a pro wrestling bar. Really, really great stuff. When she walks in and the fan did not know she was coming, because she's just sitting there the whole time, like she just had this like
Yeah.
stunned look on her face. It is great. It is really, really great.
It was wholesome. I saw that too. It was really, really wholesome. I love that. It's also if you guys have not checked out Asuka's YouTube channel as a whole, it's definitely worth the subscription. She does fun little like food tours. She's building like her gaming chairs and all that. But yeah, that video was really, really cute to see.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It's
yeah.
cool. It's cool to see where her channel is, because it started as kind of like a gaming channel, but now it's just kind of like a vlog for her.
Mhm.
And I watch a ton of it, but it's I think it's funny how much she like stunts on people on there, because she definitely be stunned on y'all brokies. I've peeped this several times now. How she stunts on people is great, but also just her everyday life, just her going and making food, going out to restaurants. Big fan of Kind of Chan TV.
Yeah, Kana-chan TV is the YouTube channel. Definitely, definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, she makes me feel broke. Like I feel mega broke when I watch her channel. But yeah, it's like an overall like good little vlog channel. Keeping up with Kana, keeping up with her. It's really great. I love it.
Keeping up with Kind of.
Um,
She should change it
yeah.
to that and just add like the Keeping Up with Kardashians music at the beginning. Keeping Up
Yes.
with Kind of.
Yeah. And she loves to do that too. Like sometimes she'll Photoshop her face onto like
Yeah.
random stuff. I love when she does like some Simpsons references as well. So there could be something there. Um, but yeah, this match, Kabuki Warriors, they're taking it home. But big shout to Candice and Indy for gaining this spotlight for them during such a massive, massive show. But let's move on to the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. We've got the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus the New Catch Republic, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I still don't know how I feel about that name. What do you think?
Yeah, I still have to get used to the name. I was just like, why can't they just be British Strong Style? I just don't understand. But it's always got to be a catch, man. We got Pete Dunne back. So we can't have it all. Uh, I'm very happy that they're a tag team though. I think that they're gonna do well together. I really want them to win, but I don't think they're going to. I think Judgment Day is gonna retain. Um, I I think it's time to take the belts off Judgment Day. I am not really interested in this reign anymore. They haven't done anything interested in as tag champions in a while. And I kind of feel like they need to split the belts up too, because I feel like they've got so many tag teams on both Raw and SmackDown now, and I
Hmm.
feel like it's hindering the division to just have both belts on one team.
I am going to say that this might be the swerve of the show to break up the predictability of it, because all of these matches are pretty predictable, possibly besides the men's elimination chamber. But I feel like this is the match to break it up, and I think that New Catch Republic will win. I'm still getting used to the name. I definitely think they should have stuck with British Strong Style. I don't know what happened there. That was kind of a missed opportunity. They brought back Peter Dunne, Peter Dune, as I like to call him sometimes, Pete Dunne. But yeah, I think that New Catch Republic should win. It's break it up a little bit. You give it a new look into the tag division, because there's some great teams, but it's Judgment Day is so hot right now. They really don't need those tag titles, I don't think. And
No.
um, yeah, going into WrestleMania, I just would like to see just a different vibe with the tag team division going into WrestleMania. And I think that New Catch Republic could be the individuals to do that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't want, not that I don't want the Judgment Day to win, but I think that, again, to make the show a little less predictable, I think that they New Catch Republic should win.
Yeah, I
So
hope so. I'd like to see it.
yeah, I definitely would like to see it too. Damian Priest he has more things to worry about than his tag titles. He's got a Money in the Bank briefcase that is about to expire. So
He's got a few months. He's got till July.
yeah, he's got till July. Do you see him failing his cash in?
I hope not, because I I hope not. Coming out of last year and having Austin Theory's run with the briefcase being underwhelming, and then of course he had to fail cash in. I wouldn't want to see 2 years in a row of underwhelming cash-ins. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think they've kind of booked themselves in a corner, and it's really because of the Roman stuff in a lot of ways. Um, and like right now, like what are you gonna do with Seth? Seth's hurt. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then you've got all this stuff riding on Seth going into WrestleMania at this point, so he's not gonna cash in before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I have no idea what they're gonna do with this briefcase at this point.
Yeah, I don't know either. I do agree. I think they did book themselves into a corner, but it just feels like overall the top prizes in this company have just been booked into a corner, besides any of the women's titles, like the Undisputed Tag Championships, uh, anything that Roman's going into, and then Seth as well. It just feels like everything is so booked into a corner. I would hope that Damian Priest doesn't fail his cash in, but I don't think it's going to happen until after WrestleMania. I think after WrestleMania is when we'll see a cash in, and it depends on where we are for the World Heavyweight Championship after
Yeah.
WrestleMania, and also after whoever wins the Elimination Chamber match tomorrow. So it's Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton versus Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, Kevin Owens, and Logan Paul. Who are you predicting, and who is a surprise entrant for you for this match?
Surprise entrant. Wait. Did I?
Who was a surprise to see? Like, I was a little surprised to see Logan Paul be a part of this
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
match. Yeah.
Um, um, Yeah, it's unfortunate that Gunther can't travel because I think that should have been Gunther's spot. And I think
Hmm.
that Gunther should be the one to win this match. I think it should be Gunther versus Rollins going into WrestleMania. But just based on who has the most momentum out of this field, I feel like it has to be Drew. Um, Drew is white hot right now as a heel. He's doing great stuff on social media. His promos are always good. He's having fantastic matches. Had a really good match on Monday with Cody Rhodes. I think it's Drew, and I think Drew is going to go on to face Seth at WrestleMania. I don't know in what fashion. I could see it being changed by WrestleMania. I kind of have a theory that it could end up being a triple threat match with Sami Zayn. Um, but I think Drew's going to win.
Drew is the only Raw talent. Like, he's the only Monday Night Raw uh, talent in this Elimination Chamber match. Just for the woman in the crowd during the press conference, I want Randy Orton to win. Because that would make her entire year.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Like if Randy does not win here, which I don't think he's going to, what is Randy doing at WrestleMania?
I don't know. Maybe Randy versus Gunther at WrestleMania? But I don't know. It's weird because like Gunther's been doing a really great job with that Intercontinental title. I think Drew has also been doing really great character work um with on Monday Night Raw recently, especially on social media, on TikTok. He's been dominating that. But it's, you have Randy Orton back, and it's again WrestleMania 40. He should have some big plans for that show. That's why I would like to see him go against Seth Rollins. He is a little bit of a bigger name. I mean, Logan Paul ain't gonna win this. Let's be clear.
No.
He is not gonna win this. If he does, that's a little too much. But I would like to see Randy win it. But I think overall it might be Drew. But Randy could be a really great swerve. Again, I feel like this show needs some kind of swerve, and if Randy does win, I don't think a lot of people would be
No.
mad about it.
No. He works in other companies. You can't add him to the show. Can't just add Swerve to the show. Um, he's at the other company. But I think the
Wait,
purpose.
did I say swerve?
Yeah, you said that this show needs a swerve, and so I was
Oh,
saying
needs a swerve. Oh,
yeah, he's another
I
company.
was like, listen, I didn't have enough coffee. I don't know if I said the wrong name or not. Needs a swerve. Whose
But
house? Whose house?
Rhea's house, I guess. It's looking like
Yeah.
Rhea's house. But I think the purpose of having LA Knight and Logan Paul in this match, though, is to start to set up their match at WrestleMania. Because I think that's who LA Knight is facing at WrestleMania. He's had beef with him since back in July at the Money in the Bank match. And I think this is kind of a way of moving Logan Paul on from the Kevin Owens feud onto the feud with LA Knight.
Yeah. I wish, man, I love Kevin Owens so much. I wish there were bigger things happening with him. Bobby Lashley, I think this is going to be a really great match, overall. But
Yeah.
Drew is the likely winner for this Elimination Chamber match. It's also, they've been building it up really well with Drew kind of inserting himself and Cody and Seth on Monday Night Raw. So there's a better story there with Drew going against Seth. Now if Drew does move on and face Seth at WrestleMania, is it going to be night 1? Is it going to be night 2? Also, is there potential of him winning since Seth is injured?
I'm assuming that if Drew wins here, he's going to win. I think that there's too much story potential here because of course we know the report that this was supposed to be CM Punk's win, and of course Drew McIntyre injured CM Punk, and he's been wearing a shirt around saying that his WrestleMania moment is kaput, it's deceased, and so it only make poetic sense for him to win his spot here and go to WrestleMania, and I do think he's going to beat Seth. I think that they've been trying to get back to giving Drew his moment at WrestleMania in front of a live crowd for some time. I think this is the way to do it. I think it's kind of a happy accident that he ended up in this position. But if he doesn't win, and you go with my theory that Sammy's going to get inserted in this match, wouldn't mind if Sammy won this match as well because I really want to see him win a world title on the main roster, and I also feel like they've been telling a really good story with him with the backstage segments. Those interviews he's been doing are really good, and he's been driving home the point that since Elimination Chamber last year, he wants to come back and win. It wasn't just
Yeah.
enough to go the distance with Roman. He wants to win, and so I think either you put him in this match, put him in a match with Rollins and give him the world title win, or I think he should be the one to beat Gunther.
Yeah. Those shirts that Drew McIntyre has been wearing, where it's him photoshopped in the Flash graveyard, that is a wild shirt.
Yeah, no, he's making the absolute best out of this situation. I don't know what his contract situation is, but I have to assume that they're trying to lock him in because
Hmm.
he's been incredible since he's been back. I think turning heel was the best move for him.
Hmm.
He's been tremendous, so I think this is his win here. I think he's gonna come back to the United States with a big chip on his shoulder after winning the Elimination Chamber match.
Yeah, that's definitely the promo to look for during Monday Night Raw that Drew will be cutting. Oh man, that's it'll be a good match though. It'll be a good match. So next we've got the main event. It's been announced that it is going to be the main event for the Women's World Championship. It is Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. Um, so Rhea Ripley is going to win it. And this has been a good podcast, guys. Thanks for watching. Nia Jax doesn't stand a chance. I don't think. I mean, I don't know. Do we see this going the distance? I mean, Rhea Ripley did put up a good point. Nia Jax has been running through the division on Monday Night Raw. It's Rhea Ripley is a big star on paper. Maybe it makes a little sense that Nia is going to take this title off of her. I am surprised that people think that Nia is going to take the title.
And
What do you
people
think?
really think that?
I've got some people in my Twitch chat telling me weekly that they think Nia is going to take the title from Rhea
Listen.
Ripley.
There's no way that Nia's winning here. Nia's not winning this close to WrestleMania. Rhea has not held this belt for close to a year at this point to lose it this close to WrestleMania. No, I just don't see it happening. And I think Nia's been great. I think she has been probably one of the best returns in the Triple H era. I think she's been great. I think that she's on the run of her career. I think she's having better matches. She looks more motivated. I think her promos are better. I thought she was great in a Rumble. She had the great match with Becky on Raw. And really, she looks like a threat to Rhea because she came back and immediately made Rhea look like nothing to her. Like she
Mm-hmm.
overpowered her immediately. But she's not winning this match. I just don't see any possibility of her
No.
winning this match.
I don't see a possibility of her winning this match either. I think my impression of why people think that Nia is going to win, I think everyone has a lot of PTSD when it comes to a hometown hero wrestling. Like we had Sasha at the Hell in a Cell in Boston losing, like anything. Really, if you go back and watch the several years of people at their hometowns losing, Zelina Vega last year at Backlash. I don't see this being the
Nah.
case for Rhea Ripley. Main eventing, you want to, send the crowd home happy, and why not do it with the world champion and also just the mega star. She is a huge, massive star. The reaction that she got yesterday during the press conference was huge. The reaction that she will get in this stadium's freaking huge, by the way. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's no way. I'm like so surprised. Even though Nia Jax is from Australia, they said it yesterday. They don't claim her, so she's not gonna
Wow.
win it.
Wow. Um, Nah, man. Listen, we're definitely ending this show with metal music and pyro. Nia's not winning this belt, bro. Like, I don't see any possibility of that not happening. Like, Rhea's definitely winning this match, man.
With metal music, everyone headbanging. Yeah, yeah. There's no. I don't know. There's no way in hell that Nia Jax is gonna win. But those are our predictions for the Elimination Chamber. Phil, do you have any predictions on what will be the match of the night for this card for the Elimination Chamber?
What will be match of the night? Uh, I'm gonna go with the women's championship match because I think that they want Rhea to have a good showing right before WrestleMania, and it's in Australia. And I think Nia's gonna look really good. I don't think she's gonna win, but I think she's gonna have a really good performance.
I agree. Naya's had a really great run so far. Rhea Ripley, they're gonna make her again. They're gonna put all the rockets on her and strap it. I think that'll be a good match. I also predict that the women's elimination chamber match might steal the show. There's a lot of good potential. There's a lot of good like high flying spots that we'll see for that. Um, I think the women are gonna steal the show overall.
Yeah, I can see it because I mean, I, I do think that the men's match has the potential to be really good, but I also think that it feels very predictable. But I feel like most of the outcomes on the show are pretty predictable for the most part. Um, Very curious to see what we got at tag match. I think the tag match could be the sleeper match on this card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be. Um, I feel like maybe MVP in the elimination chambers. Not MVP, but maybe like a breakout star. Definitely Tiffany Stratton. You know, she hits that moonsault from one of the top of the pods. That'd be great.
Yeah, I think that this is a really good opportunity for Tiffany, and she was very over with that crowd yesterday. So I'm curious to
Hmm.
see what she looks like in a match. Um, yeah, I want to say that I think Liv's going to be the MVP out of the women's match. I think she's going to have a good showing. She's had good showings in other elimination chamber matches she's been in.
Hmm.
For the men, that's a very crowded field. I don't know because I could see Bobby having a really good showing. The last time he was in an elimination chamber match, he got injured, so he did get a
Yeah.
chance to really do anything in it. So I could see him having a better showing this time around. Um, I can see Logan Paul doing a bunch of high flying, crazy stuff as well. Um, I'm going to go. I am going to go with. Gonna go with Kevin Owens. Matter of fact, I think Kevin Owens
Yeah.
is gonna be MVP of the men's match.
Kevin Owens needs to jump off something. He's got, he jumps off the WrestleMania sign. He's got to jump off
He's gonna
something.
jump off a pod
Yeah, he's gonna jump off a pod into Bobby Lashley's arms. Maybe we'll see. Um,
into his arms.
yeah, into his
he's gonna
arms.
do the dirty dancing. Like
Yeah, he's just gonna catch him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I want to see. God, I would love to see that. All of the illustrations that we'd get from several different artists would be so cool. That'd be great. I hate so much to say like Logan Paul is gonna look great and during this match. It's disgusting how good this guy is in in the wrestling world.
yeah,
It's
I yeah, I think there's a better opportunity for him to showcase what he can do than the Royal Rumble match. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Royal Rumble match, but I think this is gonna be a better showing from him just because like this kind of fits what he does well.
yeah. I missed the Royal Rumble match. I went to go get a Coca-Cola during that match. So,
I didn't really miss much.
but
It was some
yeah,
lot of limb work. We got the brass knucks finish. It wasn't.
yeah. Didn't miss much. Didn't miss much. But that is the show, Phil. I have to thank you so much for joining me. What's something that excites you about this week or next week in the world of wrestling, whether it is WWE, AEW, any indie stuff, New Japan? What is something that pops out to you that you think more people need to jump on?
Man, there's a lot of wrestling. I will say, check out Ashe. I believe Ashe is tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 24th, right? I dates are all
Yes.
mixed up. But check out Ashe. That's Darius Lockhart's promotion. They're doing a Black History Month show. He's going to be wrestling Darius Carter. Um, Battle of the Dariuses. It looks like a great card so far. The last Ashe show was good so far. They've only done 2 shows so far. It's a fairly new promotion, but of course it is black-owned promotion. They've been doing a lot of new and interesting things that I haven't seen a lot of the promotions do, just with their music choices, the people that they choose to work with, using their money and giving it to good cause. I would check out the Ashe show. You of course go to their website, go to their Twitter account, and I think you can just buy the stream on their website. That's how it was before.
I think it was like that before. And I believe their last show, they had Trish Adora versus Aja Kong.
They did.
Is that right? Yeah,
That was the main event.
That match was crazy. I mean, just to get Aja Kong, but Aja Kong and Trish Adora sharing a ring together, going one-on-one, that is definitely worth the big bucks for you. If you're going to spend any money on a show this weekend, definitely go check that out. That was the last show. Definitely go check out their previous 2 shows. So yeah, Phil, thank you so much. Where can the people find you? Hear your wonderful, wonderful voice. Look at your beautiful little face.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, of course, at PhilDL616. You can find me on Saturdays at noon, co-hosting Grapsody with Righteous Reg. That's Saturdays at noon on Fightful's YouTube channel. Of course, you can find my writing at Bleacher Report.
Yeah, everyone go follow Phil. Fantastic follow. Always tweeting about basketball. I have no idea what's going on in basketball, but I look at your tweets and I'm like, oh, okay, that's happening. The finals are coming up. I don't really know anything else.
Yeah, playoffs are in summer, so we're close. We're close.
Yeah. We're close. We're close. I more so am tapped into your nerd tweets, especially about X-Men 97 and you defending Cyclops.
Good. Look, man, Cyclops is better than Wolverine. I will die on that hill. He is. Cyclops is better than Wolverine. Don't care what anybody says. He is. You can keep sharing that goofy gif of him punching Scott in the stomach, but Scott is still the leader of this team, and he made the right decision. Go back and watch that episode. Sentinels were handing Logan his ass, and if he didn't come in there and tell that man to stop playing his drum, he'd be still sitting out there.
Hey man, I think people do put some disrespect on Cyclops, and I'll say this: a few years ago I went to a meet and greet, a Kenny Omega meet and greet, and I wore an X-Men shirt, and I walked up to Kenny, and he was like, "I really love that shirt," and you know what? I have to say, Cyclops, he's my favorite.
See?
X-Men. See, real recognize real. Real recognize real. But we got some super chats. Thank you so much, Will Cheisner. I'm so sorry. Let's get into these super chats real quick. There's only 3. So WWE trying to get Rocky at WrestleMania. Phil, how much you bet they're going to do a Rocky 2 training promo with Cody? I believe that is in reference of Sylvester Stallone. They're trying to get him. I would hope they're getting him for the cold open for WrestleMania 40. That would be cool.
Yeah, we're definitely going to get a Cody montage. We're getting a Cody training montage. I mean, there's no way we're not. I mean, he's also facing a guy that looks like the ultimate Rocky villain, and The Rock. Yeah, it's definitely happening. I think they should do a cold open if they do get Sylvester Stallone. My pitch for a cold opening would be, because Punk isn't doing anything else for WrestleMania, I think he should narrate the cold open, and it should get all the way to the point of him standing in front of Rocky statue in Philadelphia. And of course, CM Punk has famously said he has never seen a Rocky movie. I
He's
think
never
it,
seen a Rocky movie?
you don't remember this was the whole thing from the feud with Mox, and when we got all that stuff about that feud afterwards,
Oh,
and he was like he didn't
right.
understand the Rocky 3 thing he was doing because he's never seen a Rocky movie. Um, so I think you should do this whole narration with Punk of him narrating the open of WrestleMania, and it gets all the way to the end of him standing in front of the Rocky statue, and then Stallone shows up and was like, "Can't mess with the classics, right?" And he was like, and he just looks at him and goes, "I wouldn't know."
That's a better idea for a cold open. I mean, I've never seen a Rocky movie either, to be
What?
fair.
How?
Mm-mm.
What? So
No.
you've never seen like? Listen, Rocky is one of the greatest sports franchises ever. Like, uh, have you've never seen the Creed movies either? Then
No. I've never seen
what's
it.
going on? Like, so you haven't seen the greatness of Mr. T and Rocky 3 as the villain, and he's like trash talking Rocky, and he's like macking on his woman at the same time. It's one of the greatest scenes ever.
No. I've
I mean,
never
the
seen
great
it.
Carl Weathers, rest in peace. Apollo Creed, like him coming out and styling with James Brown. None of this. You've never seen any of this.
I've wholeheartedly I've never seen any Rocky. I've never seen the movies. I've barely seen any clips from the movies. If I watch it, I'm going in completely blind. Like that is freshly the first time that I've seen it. Like I've seen do you remember the show that was on VH1 back in the day, I Love the 80s?
Yes.
They would talk about those movies, and like it was those clips that they've shown on those shows are the only things that I've seen from Rocky.
How is this? How is this possible? So you don't know any of like the Hulk Hogan and Rocky 3 is Thunder Lips? None of this? Like
That's probably for the best.
no Thunder. Listen, I know we don't like Hogan anymore, but Thunder Lips is one of the best things about Rocky 3. Rocky 3 is just a great movie. I'm sorry.
No, I've never seen any of it. I've never seen it. I don't know. It's just
So,
never.
so how do you understand like the bro handshake meme that people do online of like Apollo and Rocky doing the handshake at the end? Don't
I'm
you,
gonna be so real with you. This is the first time that it has come to my knowledge that that was from. I didn't know it was from the Rocky movies. I thought it was just from. I know. I'm sorry. You're never coming on the show ever again. Sorry. You're like, I'm revoking any invite that you'll have Grapsody for the future. I'm sorry.
I'm so very confused about this entire thing. Like, how have you never seen a Rocky movie? Like,
I've never seen it. I've never seen it. It's never. I mean, my dad's watched it. My dad got me into, wrestling. He's watched it, but he's never sat me down and watched the Rocky movies. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't really know. Will, let's move on. I'll add that to the list. I'll add it to the list, at least by Mania. I have to watch it, right? It's in Philadelphia. I gotta watch it. We'll see. Will, thank you so much again for the super chat. All these super chats are from Will. Big shout out to you. We know who's winning those tag titles. It's going to be R-Truth and that other guy. That other
yeah,
guy meaning The Miz.
yeah. I think it's pretty clear. Awesome Truth are probably gonna win those tag belts, and that's why I don't think that the new Catch Republic are going to win. But I sure would like to see them win instead of Awesome Truth, but I don't see any world where at this point where they don't try and capitalize over how popular our Truth is right now. And it's the
Yeah.
right move to make. I just am not that into it.
Having a big WrestleMania moment this year too for him, that'd be cute, but just gonna
Yeah.
have to wait and see. Absolutely love what R-Truth is doing these days. And then the last one, it feels like WWE are saving Bianca versus Rhea at WrestleMania 41. It feels like that's their Randy Orton versus John Cena, but the matches will actually be good.
Wow. Yeah, I was really surprised that they didn't circle back to Rhea Bianca because they had been teasing it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Becky match at this point, it makes more sense to go ahead and knock it out. Maybe they'll do that match next year. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. Bianca versus Rhea is definitely a WrestleMania worthy match that they'll do down the line. But Maybe they're saving it for next year. Who knows? Who
May-
knows? Just gonna
may-
have to get through 40.
Yeah, maybe they'll do their SummerSlam. I know initially it was planned for Money in the Bank. I think that was the
Mm-hmm.
show that Rhea got injured beforehand, and she had to pull out a match. I think it was Money in the Bank. But I don't know. But at this point, it feels big enough to be a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, for sure. It feels big enough. They got a lot of history dating back to NXT as well. I think that's the ultimate match that I've been definitely waiting for when it comes to Rhea and Bianca. So I would be looking forward to it. So yeah. And that's the show. Thank you again, Will, for all the super chats. Apologies for missing that as well. Phil, again, thank you for joining me so much. I hope you grabbed some sleep because I know you've been up.
Yeah, I probably won't. I'm probably going to turn on more wrestling because what else am I going to do with my day?
Exactly. You got to prepare for Grapsody tomorrow as well. Well, Grapsody, you know, Elimination Chamber will be done. Sure, you guys will have a review up on that.
Yeah, um,
Yeah,
have a lot of wrestling to talk about.
tons. We'll never run out of wrestling to talk about here in our media worlds. Fun times, losing sleep and all. All right, guys, we will see you very soon. Phil, again, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, remember, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, plugs, YouTubes, all that galore. I will see you guys next week. Goodbye.